Hey everybody, Vicky in the car. Got my bro Dan the man.
What's going on, fam? What's going on?
Alright, so got an icebreaker for you.
Mm-hmm.
Cops or cheaters?
Well, definitely not cheaters. That show is crazy. It's depressing, you know what I'm saying?
I like, to be honest, I'm cheaters. I still watch cheaters.
What's depressing is that, so a few things, right? Number one, you still got people out here playing these games, right? Stupid little games, right? And then you look at the other side of those games is somebody's heart being hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I can't do that. I'd rather watch Cops and see somebody get put on a hot hood. You know what I'm saying? Like.
All right, so first question. Mm-hmm. So I've seen somewhere where they said men initiate and women respond. They say queens are pursued and they don't pursue. Kings select queens, not the desperate. So what's your thoughts on that? Is that true? Because like these days, like sometimes women do ask guys out. So
see, I don't think so. I think that again, right? I think a man should pursue. And I think a woman should allow a man to do that. Now, I don't see anything wrong with a woman making herself notice, making sure that he notices that she's there. Right? I think this was on a podcast the other night or something on Facebook Live where they talked about this. And I totally agree, right? Men should pursue. Like, it's part of that whole leadership role from the beginning. If he can't lead and step out his comfort zone, right? To me, that's a sign.
Right.
Like, if he's sitting there waiting, looking goofy, waiting for you to make a move, then it's like, really think about that, right? Wow. If he's really that interested in you, and he's worried about you shooting him down, or you saying nah, again, we all brothers and sisters in Christ, so it shouldn't be crazy, the way that we all interact with each other. But if he doesn't have enough in him to step up to you, then think about that. When it comes to real decisions in that, relationship, in that marriage, is he gonna be waiting for you to step up and take the lead?
Right.
All right, even though you guys looked at each other, some people just take that look into something else. They're already planning a wedding off a look.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he'll look good in that. She'll look good. Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on, just take it slow. If y'all look at each other, he could have been looking around you and you thought, you see what I'm saying?
Right,
Let's stop all that foolishness, man.
Right.
Like, it's nothing wrong with you introducing yourself, especially if it's like a singles. So if you see somebody there you never met, again, this is a one-night thing. You never know if you're gonna see them again. Y'all playing a game or something, and he gives you a couple of looks. After the game, introduce yourself. Just and then pull back.
Right.
Allow him. Yeah, dude. Look, unless you're in a relationship and you want to take your man out, that's different. You want to treat him or surprise him. But do not ask a man out first. To me, those are signs of a lot more that you're gonna have to deal with down the road.
Right. So, if God sent you your spouse right now, would you be ready?
Well, if he sent her, that means I'm ready. Because God's timing is never wrong, right?
Right.
So yeah, if he sent her, if it's a God send, oh yeah. Yeah, but I feel like I'm still working on becoming the best me, who God is preparing me to be. And plus, I'm so focused on my assignment right now that God has me in, which is leading men. I have a channel on YouTube called Men Purposely Pursuing Purity. Right. So that's my assignment right now, and I saw a quote on I think it was on Facebook. I actually posted it. This is probably last year sometime. That says that I want to be so focused on God and so just focused on Him that He'll say, "Look up, that that's her." Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm so focused on God right now that I love where I am. Like, do I want to be married? Yeah, I do. But I'm not unhappy being single.
Right.
And doing it the right way.
Right. But if you knew it was from God, you'd be ready.
Yeah, because I trust him. And I trust where I am versus where I used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so I read somewhere that one of the things men hate is the pressure to commit. Why do you think that is? And why do they think that women are pressuring them to commit? And why don't they commit?
Whoa. You know what? Pastor Keith Battle did a sermon on this, and it was about deciding, right? So, and we talked about this on my prayer call, maybe I think 2 weeks ago. When you look at the word decide, right? You break it down. The word side means to kill, to remove, right? You look at pesticide, it kills pests. You look at suicide, you kill yourself, right? Homicide, you kill someone else. So the word decide and the word decision means that you're making a decision to remove everyone else. So some men may be scared of commitment because they don't want to choose to decide on one, because they don't want to remove the rest of them. They don't want to kill those other relationships.
Right.
There may be a lot of other reasons too, you know what I'm saying? But I think ultimately that's what it comes down to, is that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so why do they feel like women are always pressuring? Like, what's pressure to commit look like?
Well, a woman should never pressure a man to commit. Right? A woman should never pressure a man to commit. He should be leading in that, saying, okay, this is what I want. This is where it's that vision, right? It's that vision saying, okay, this is where we should be going. So she should never have any anxiety, 5-10 years in a relationship saying, where are we?
5 or 10 years, she supposed to wait that long?
No, I'm just saying, hey, there's some people out here who's doing that, right? And then the problem with that is that they're so mad at the other person. And honestly, the person they need to be mad at is themselves. Why did you stay that long?
Exactly, yeah.
See, the problem is that too many people are playing house, and so it feels good to play house, even though you're not married. And most people know I want to be married, but they're content with playing house for a season, or 2 or 3 or 10 or 20, thinking that that's the end game, when the guy never communicated that.
Right.
So don't give up those marriage benefits without that ring and that name. Period.
All right, so if one feels strongly about kids, like maybe, so in the beginning of dating, one person said they wanted kids, one person said they didn't want kids. So do you think like that's okay, we need to end it now, or whenever it comes up, because it's not going to come up right away, but like, do you end it now because you don't want the same things, or do you let it go on and see what happens, or do you like keep hanging out until either one of you find like somebody else?
So I look at it like this, right? And I've been sitting on this, but I'm gonna write a book. I've been wanting to write a book. It's gonna be called The First 3 Dates. I think questions like that, right? The non-negotiables, people who want kids, especially if you're within that age of, again, still wanting to have kids and still, physically able to do that. First 3 dates, put it out there, right? I think that, by the 3rd date, not the first date, you still, you're learning, okay, it's more about that chemistry. Can I have fun with this person? But after that, I think that 2nd, 3rd date is starting to ask those questions. But even, between the dates is, the conversations, right? Saying that, yeah, I want to have kids. And if that person says that they don't and they're adamant about it, hey, it's nice to meet you.
Right.
Because what is there to see?
Because, yeah, you
setting yourself up for
failure. Right.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Now, so what about you continue to date and see what happens? One person doesn't want, any more children. But what about, because, condoms, birth control, even a snip, those are not all 100% guaranteed. You can still have a kid like that. So what about you are like no kids and then it happens? Like, do you keep the child?
Before marriage?
Even if it's after marriage, if you still
Oh, if it's after marriage, so
But you
again,
still say no more kids, but it happens. So do you keep the kid? Do you give it up for adoption? Do you abort?
So so number one, don't abort, right? Because I look at it as, because I'm a strong believer in God's word, and like every child that's born is part of God's plan. So I'm a strong believer in, look, if somebody got their tubes tied or burnt, or he had a vasectomy and a child still came, that person may cure AIDS or something, you know what I'm saying? And I'm serious, like, you never know what God's plan is for that child.
Right.
So this is in marriage. Anything before marriage is not, that shouldn't be happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But again, if you guys agree that, okay, this is what we're going to do, but it still happens in marriage, then yeah, you, like, to me, that it's a godsend.
All right, so how do you handle, like, you speak highly of God, and then here comes somebody, like, questioning your faith, or, like, being so negative about God, and questioning, kind of like, okay, if God is real, why does he let this happen? Why does he let that happen? Like, how do you handle that?
Man, it was a devotion I was reading that talks about that. So what I would do is go to the Word, right? Go to the Word and show them that. So some things happen, right? Some things happen that we bring on ourselves due to our decision making, right? Some things happen because of, like, for instance, storms, right? Storms, tornadoes, things like that, they happen. And floods, people die in those, doesn't necessarily mean that God intentionally wanted somebody to die from that. You know what I'm saying? And I would definitely have to go to the Word about that. I wouldn't argue with them. If they're willing to sit down and listen, then that's something I'm willing to do. But if they want to, if they're very defensive and they're argumentative, then I'll say, all right, I'll pray for you. I'm here for you. So whenever you want to sit down and talk, we can do that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. So speaking on those lines, when you tell people about, like, your standards and your beliefs, and church comes up, why do they always, like, associate church with a cult? Have you heard that before? Oh, you in a cult?
I've never had anybody, like, when I talk about my church now, I've never had anybody say that, but I can see how people can think that. So number one, I would tell them that, church is not a cult, right? I mean, you have different churches that have different beliefs, right, that could potentially be a cult, right? You had people had spiritual beliefs, like in California, they were drinking the Kool-Aid and killing themselves, right? Mm-hmm. That's a cult, right? I'll tell them, I can't speak for other churches. I can speak for my church. And I would invite them out to my church, I-5 City.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, last question. So I seen somewhere that a woman ordered some food, and she told the server, "This one's on God." Then she left. What do you think about that?
Whoa. Yeah, nah, that's totally wrong. Nah, like, God says, "Oh, no man," right? So she owes for the services that were rendered to her. So that's blasphemy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's totally wrong. That's crazy. Like, for folks to, put stuff like that on God, man, they don't know God.
Well, Dan, thank you for coming. Tell the people where they can see you, what you got going on right now.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I'm more on Facebook, Dan Van Zago, and also on Instagram, Dan Van Zago, and also Daily Sustenance, Radical Life. I have my website where I write devotionals. I'm selling my shirts, my Purity shirt right here, Purity, I am pure through Yahweh. I have a few more others as well, so definitely check me out, Dan Van Zago. Yeah.
AKA Dan the Man. All right, y'all.
All right.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching this episode. Real quick before you go, don't forget to like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, Vicky in the Car, and turn your notifications on. Comment, share, please. You can comment any questions you want me to ask down below. Vicky in the Car.